Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for your unwavering support and for being part of this emotional journey. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because what comes next will leave your heart racing. Previously, after months of painful silence, tears, and misunderstandings, James and Dipe finally found their way back into each other's arms. No grand declarations were needed. A single embrace, a look brimming with sincerity, it was enough to erase all the hurt, the doubts, and the distance that had come between them. What was once buried under grief and regret had returned, a love not only revived, but deeper, stronger, unshakable. In the days that followed, they seemed to exist in a world of their own, tender, sweet, unbothered by the chaos outside. James devoted himself completely to Dipe, pouring every ounce of love into making up for the pain she had endured. And in his arms, Dipe began to smile again, the innocent, radiant smile he had once fallen in love with. But just as the sun seemed to shine brightest, a storm was brewing, silent, menacing, stirred by none other than John. John had never let go of his twisted ambition. He understood that to bring down a man like James, brute force wasn't necessary. Instead, he would strike at James's most vulnerable point, Dipe. She was his heart, his weakness. John had his men follow her relentlessly, from her morning strolls in the garden to her walks home from work. Every movement was documented, every breath watched. His goal: kidnap Dipe, and use her as leverage to force James into submission. But James wasn't blind. Years of hardship had honed his instincts. He noticed the same car parked near Dipe's house every afternoon. A strange man lingering by the garden gate. Noises in the night that didn't belong. Every sign pointed to one chilling truth: danger was imminent, but this time, James would not be caught off guard. He quietly sprang into action, calling in favors, reaching out to former allies, activating the underground network he had long buried. Love, he realized, wasn't enough. He would need strategy. He would need strength. He would need to be ready to risk everything. Then, on a cool afternoon, just as James wrapped up a meeting with his trusted circle, one of his most loyal men approached him, face grim, voice urgent. "Sir," he said quietly, "it's begun. John's men are already in place around Miss Dipe's home. They're monitoring her every move, and it looks like they're waiting for the perfect moment to strike." James's heart clenched. Rage simmered in his eyes. "No," he said, voice low but firm. "We stop them now. Assign 2 of our best men. They stay close, but discreet. She must never feel afraid." Not again. Not ever. And so, under cover of night, a double-layered security plan was deployed. One team monitored the perimeter. Another watched from afar. James spared no resources, because Dipe wasn't just someone he loved. She was his everything, but even as precautions were put in place, John was always a step ahead. James knew this was just the beginning. That evening, he visited Dipe. The sun was setting, a golden glow brushing against her cheeks as she greeted him with a warm smile. But beneath James's calm expression was a storm of worry. Two of his men had accompanied him, learning the layout of her home for further protection. But Dipe soon noticed the unfamiliar figures outside. Concern crept into her gaze. Caught, James sighed. I should have told you, he confessed. John, he's planning something. I couldn't risk your safety. Those men, they're mine. They're here to protect you, from a distance. I didn't want you to be scared. Dipe looked at him with quiet strength. I appreciate your concern, she said softly. But having strangers around my home makes me uneasy. I'm stronger now, James. I can take care of myself. James paused, thoughtful. Then come stay with me, he said. Just for a few days. I'll feel better knowing you're safe. She smiled, that gentle smile he'd fought so hard to earn back. All right, she said. But only for a few days, and so, she moved in. Suddenly, the grand villa James lived in felt warmer. More alive. His mother, usually reserved and stern, warmed to Dipe, waking early to make breakfast, inviting her to tend to flowers, even sharing quiet chats over tea. For James, this was peace. Love. Home. Days passed quietly. No sign of John. No movement. It was too quiet, the kind of silence that precedes chaos. Then, one afternoon, as Dipe sipped tea on the porch, she whispered. James, I've loved being here, but I miss my garden. My little swing. The birds in the morning. I feel caged. Just then, James received a message from his informants. No activity from John. Nothing unusual. He turned to her, gently took her hand. Then I'll take you home, he said. But promise me, be careful. I still don't trust this calm. Dipe nodded. He drove her home himself. Sunlight danced through the trees. The wind tousled her hair. Her face glowed as she smiled, the simple joy of returning to a place filled with memories. The house was exactly as she left it. Modest, peaceful, her garden alive with green. James stayed for dinner that night. They cooked together, shared laughs in the kitchen. It felt ordinary, and yet, more precious than anything. Later, on the porch under the stars, they spoke of the past. No more walls. No more secrets. When Dipe fell asleep, James remained by her side, watching her with aching tenderness. She's still here, he thought. Still smiling. Still trusting me. How much pain has she endured, and still, she loves me. He wished he could freeze time. That this fragile peace would last forever. But life has other plans. Just days after Dipe returned home, John made his move. He hadn't disappeared, he'd gone underground, biding his time. The moment he confirmed that Dipe was no longer at James's villa, his men reappeared. Surveillance resumed, more intense than before. A motorbike parked near her gate. Strangers loitered, eyes always watching. Delivery drivers, ride-share workers, lottery vendors, all disguises for John's agents. They filmed her, followed her, knew her routines, her habits, her vulnerabilities. Every detail delivered to John with military precision. And Dipe, blissfully unaware, still found joy in her garden. Still smiled as she watered plants, not knowing that shadows were inching closer. So what is John truly planning? Will James realize the threat in time? This isn't just a love story. It's a battle between light and darkness. And it's only just begun.